and our weekly video segment to take you into the back shelves of your local video store, back where it says horror videos, and where kids are devouring some awful films that we call the video nasties.
Are you freebasing? Inquiring minds want to know.
I have to break free from this culture of mechanical reproductions and the thick incrustations dying on the surface.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
Mom with the new flesh.
The pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite. As for our deaths, come with me and be immortal.
We have such sights to show you.
Gotta return some videotapes.
Hello, horror hounds, and welcome to the It Slays podcast. I'm your humble host, Rowan.
And I'm Julia Louis-Dreyfus's waitress, uniform Mike.
I'm Trollton.
And it's Jill.
And we are back for the final episode of April Ghouls, which, I'm sure this episode will get into what is a ghoul at some point.
More like
I just
April
love
Ghouls.
I just love that we completely sidelined that conversation last episode. Just completely forgot to bring it up.
Yeah, well, we'll bring it up this time. We had to have everybody here to get their argument in. But, yeah, we know where we're going to start. Let's start what we have been consuming, what we've been watching, what we've been reading, what we've been listening to, all that good stuff. Mike, we're going to start with you this week.
Oh my goodness me. Oh,
Ew.
Okay, I have not been on as much of a tear. The last couple weeks I like March was like a much better month for me, kind of like actually recreationally getting to watch movies. But I feel like maybe I was not energized by the movies that I had to watch this month, so I just gave up watching them altogether.
Shade.
God, just hating on the theme months is just brutal.
I am brutal. The only movie that I watched last week and this week was one that I've actually been meaning to catch up on for like a couple of years, and it was The Stylist.
Oh, yeah.
From 2020. I've had it on my list like literally for 4 years now. So I finally got to watch that and I really enjoyed it. There was like 5 or 6 movies that came out around that same time, maybe it was that year that had vaguely similar themes that I think I kept mixing up. So I think I kept thinking that The Stylist was something else. And then when I was watching it last week, I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was, but it's fine. It was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
I just remember Arrow Video like picked it up right away. Like the minute it came out, they pretty much put like a collector's edition out.
Yeah, I think that's maybe what like kind of like made me want to jump on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really good. It had these like vague echoes of some like 90s TV movies, and this is not like derogatory or dragging it at all because I love 90s TV movies, but it definitely had like weird vibes of like if you crossed those with a horror movie. So I was really digging that. Other than that, I've been reading very slowly Thomas Ligotti's The Conspiracy Against the Human Race, which is, he's like a horror author. He writes mostly short stories, but this is like his depressing existential nonfiction book. So it's actually for the Every Horror Movie on Netflix book club.
Cute.
And I haven't participated in that the last few months, even though they've been doing books that I either like or really wanted to read. So I was like,
we
fuck
have a book club.
I know, we really need to get on that.
Rowan.
But,
maybe that's what we can do with our Patreon thing that I've been looking at. Apparently,
oh my God.
You can have communities on our Patreon now, so you can chat with the people. So maybe, maybe people like Colton's mom will want to have a book club with you, Mike.
I would only pick, like, the most heretical books.
Well,
so
we'll have a book club, and we'll do one book, and half of us will read it, and that'll be it. That'll be the end of the book club.
Nah, man, we're bringing back my YouTube series from back in the day.
Yes.
Rowan's been, like, on my ass for years about bringing it back. Let's do it.
I believe in you, Jill. So other than that, I've mostly been watching TV because it's mindless. And although, okay, so I know I probably mentioned it last episode, but I'm still like heavily invested in X-Men 97. It's so fucking good. Every episode of that, I cry. Like, literally every episode. The last one I only cried a little bit. The one before that I was, like, bawling at the end of it. Like, it was just...
I still haven't watched it yet. I gotta make time, though.
Oh my god. It's phenomenal because it takes the, like, old 90s animated series and kind of, like, takes some of the stories and the aesthetic, but, like, kind of reformulates it because they know that the audience is all like adults now. So it's like much more intense, and the animation is actually like really beautiful. It's just wonderful. The writing is wonderful. They got a lot of the original voice actors back. It's just like a weep fest for me. And other than that, I finally caught up. No, not caught up. I didn't catch up. I'm finally starting to watch a limited series from last year that I've have been dying to watch, and it's Fellow Travelers, and I'm fucking obsessed with it. It's destroying my life and controlling my life, and yeah, it's really good. Anybody who's interested in people being gay in the like McCarthy witch hunt era, definitely gotta watch this one. And the first episode is like super piggy, so if you're into that. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So, Jill, what have you been consuming / doing /
Oh man. Yeah, just gonna piggyback off what you just said. Sorta. But for books, I've been kind of talking to Mike in the group chat about this, but I picked up this book that just came out. It's called Scissor Sisters.
Best title ever, by the way.
Right? That's
Yeah.
why I picked it up. And then it's 21 Tales of Sapphic Villains. So it's queer horror, but it is amazing. I will never read anything that's not written by a lesbian ever again, because they just know what women want, and it's so good. And so far, my favorite short story in there, I read it today, and I was like amazed. It's called To Wilt a Flower by Merwin Blackwood, and it's very like Poison Ivy. It's this lesbian couple back in the day, and they're like working in this like greenhouse and like planting shit and then making perfumes out of the flowers they're growing. But anyways, they're like in love, but the protagonist is like the villain, which is kind of the running theme in all of these stories, is that the protagonist is always a villain, which I like. It's a bit refreshing. But anyways, I think she murders her lover, and then her corpse stays in the greenhouse, and then it like comes to life as like a plant thing, and then she starts fucking the plant thing, and oh my god,
it's very
so
troll
good.
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so I love that. I actually had to like go look up the writer once I read this on Instagram. I found her, I followed her, I commented on one of her posts, and she followed me back, and I was geeking out
DM'd
over it.
her.
Yeah, but she is like everything that I wanted that writer to be. She's amazing. So anyways, definitely if you can get your hands on that book, it's a new book. Read that one at least. Also, I read The Assassin's Blade, which is the very last Sarah J. Maas book that I haven't read before. You know, just to come full circle. It's basically a book of prequel novellas for the Throne of Glass series. And so I tried to savor that as much as possible, because now I have to wait for her to put out another book, and I'm really sad
4 or 5
it.
years from now.
Nah, she's gonna put them out this year for real, and I'm waiting on it. But then the very last book that I read, it's pretty shitty, but I'm gonna tell you anyways, because why not? It's called I Can Explain, and it's a memoir by Ronnie Radke, who's like the biggest piece of shit ever.
God,
yeah. Anyways, he is the vocalist in the band Falling in Reverse, and I like their music, but he's a giant piece of shit. Anyways, I picked up this book and at one of their shows, and I read it, and it was actually pretty good. I was expecting it to be like narcissist spew, but it wasn't.
I don't believe you.
I promise. I promise you. I know his Twitter is a fucking mess, and he's just a menace, and he pisses me off on the daily. But yeah, I read his book, and it was better than I expected. But Yeah. Anyways, I'll let you borrow it, Colton, if you want.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yay.
It'll be the first book I've read in a decade.
Well, that's not good for the book club. But anyway, for movies, I rewatched Jennifer's Body, and I actually did an episode with Straight Jacket Talk from the Mouths of Madness podcast. So that'll be coming out soon if you want to check that out. And yeah, it's just one of my favorite movies, so it was fun to talk about that with them. And then after watching Jennifer's Body, I was like, I gotta rewatch Lisa Frankenstein. I'm a dirtbag, and I fucking love Lisa Frankenstein still. So
I really want to see that.
It's good. I don't know why people are hating on it, but I guess I should listen to your episode to.
Yeah, if you listen to that episode, you can hear me talk about it for an hour.
I don't know if I want
I think
to.
It's not very good.
But
I liked it, Jill. So
you did?
Yeah.
What's this guy talking about?
I mean, he just didn't like it.
I don't get it. It's because you don't have a soul, I think.
That's true. Yes.
Anyways, I also finally watched Bodies, 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 and I really liked that. It was fun. Very cunty. Fucking loved it. So yeah, and after Lisa Frankenstein, Night Swim automatically played on Peacock. So
Banger.
I was like,
just banger.
Straight bangers.
Banger
you know?
after banger.
Banger after bagner. For sure. So yeah, I had to watch it. Suffered through it. It was.
Welcome to the
club.
club.
It was what it was.
Great film.
I think our next T-shirt launch just says "I suffered through Night Swim."
That'd be great. But yeah, that's all I've been up to. Colton, since you are Ronnie Radke's biggest fan over here, why don't you take it next?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm a huge fan, especially when they put out one single every 2 years and they all sound the same now.
That's true.
But yeah, what have I been watching? I've been working, and that'll be a common refrain for the next 6-7 months for me. So I haven't had as much time to watch a bunch of things. I did go to the theaters a couple of times, one to watch Abigail, which, by the time you're listening to this, we have our Now Slaying episode out on it. But I'll say I probably wasn't as hot on it as the rest of the internet, I guess. So you can listen to my full thoughts on that. Another movie I wasn't too hot on is Civil War, which is Alex Garland's new movie. And did anyone else see this yet? Rowan, I felt like you were going to go see it at some point,
I was going to go see
right?
it, and I didn't get a chance. So I still have not seen it. I plan on seeing it maybe this week.
Yeah, in my opinion, I'd say it's probably his worst movie that I've seen.
It looks awful.
Yeah, so the whole movie is marketed around this whole, civil unrest and divide in America, about how all empires must fall and what sort of American are you and all this sort of shit. And then you go to the movie and it's very much just the middle of the road. Everybody sucks. Both sides are the same sort of thing, where they don't explain either side or what they're fighting for or what their beliefs are, or how California and Texas teamed up, or, all these really strange leaps in logic that, honestly, I just kind of came down on the movie thinking it's dumb. I think the movie is really dumb. And the couple of friends that I went to see it with or have discussed it, we just all are like, I don't understand, where this is, intellectually stimulating at all. It's just kind of a dumb movie. And I've had a few people that have really liked the movie write, 10 paragraphs of, what I'm missing. Oh, you don't understand. It's about the journalistic approach to, covering the war and all this stuff. And I'm like, I understand that's the point of the movie. You have to be stupid not to understand that's the point of the movie. I'm saying what the movie was marketed as and what we got are very different. And I think the movie we got is just kind of middle of the road, largely whatever. I'm just it's a $50 million movie to say everybody sucks here, when I think a lot of people, especially with what's going on in America, would say one side sucks a little bit more than the other. So it's very much a movie that I just didn't enjoy. Some technical
aspects. Maybe he had us all fooled. I'm starting to think that. I'm starting to think that we were all just had the wool pulled over our eyes.
So I kind of feel that way too, because I love Ex Machina, but I'm not an Annihilation guy. Men has an interesting part in the third act where it gets super weird, but it's still not a great movie. And then now there's this where this is just kind of baffling, because obviously everyone knows I'm a huge A24 fanboy, but this is their biggest movie ever. And I'm you just spent $50 million on this war movie to essentially say nothing at all. That I'm very baffled over it. I don't know. It's okay technically, but I don't know. You have a movie with Jesse Plemons in it, and I'm still Oh, didn't really do much for me when I think that guy is like an awesome actor. He's such a weird guy that I love when he's in any movie.
Like
Meth Damon.
Meth Damon. Yes, I'm
Forever.
here for him. Yeah. But yeah, outside of that, I checked out Speak No Evil, mostly because the trailer for the remake came out and everyone was talking about how the trailer spoils the whole movie. So I checked out the original and I think it was pretty good overall. It's one of those movies where I was kind of angry, like screaming at the screen pretty much for most of it, basically being like, just leave. Why are you not leaving? There's like a dozen red flags, just leave, like for the whole movie. But that's kind of like what makes it so entertaining, where it's just like this family kind of just giving into all these like social pressures and pleasantries and just, you know, being like a good guest and just constantly getting put in really awkward and harrowing situations because of it. And specifically, as most people will discuss, like the third act of the movie is like a real downer of a movie. Like it is brutal in the last like 15 minutes or so that, anyone with children, like leave that movie feeling very bad, I would say. And the Blumhouse trailer that I watched, like immediately queued it up after I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, they're just gonna completely bastardize this. Like there's no way in hell they're gonna make a good movie out of this. It looks so bad compared to the original. And they also like spoil a bunch of like the big twists and stuff in the trailer that I was baffled by like what they were doing. So not very much looking forward to that. I'm sure we'll cover it in August or September whenever it comes out. And the last thing I saw was a movie called Hundreds of Beavers, which I don't know if any of you guys have heard about this movie, but it's essentially like a live action Looney Tunes movie. It's black and white and it's set in like the fur trading days. I think it's a Canadian movie. And it's like no joke. It's about a guy who needs to kill hundreds of beavers essentially to trade in the pelts. But it's just, they're all like dressed in like costumes and it's super goofy and super silly. And I will say for like the first 5 minutes or so, I was pretty annoyed by it. I was just like, oh, this is like too cute and too quirky and too like just, it didn't work. But they commit to like the bit so hard that it just very much feels like you're watching like almost like a live action like Wile E. Coyote cartoon. Like it's super goofy, like the logic doesn't make sense, and it goes like so crazy and so far off the rails that it's just, I don't know, it was super entertaining. It's like almost 2 hours long, so you know, it's I don't know, it was pretty great. I was surprised.
I've never heard of it. It sounds really good.
Yeah, like
I've actually seen it.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, on Pornhub.
Hundreds of
That's a different beaver,
my
Jillian.
God.
It's a joke.
Oh my
You were
That's
so
a different
excited.
beaver.
Well, I was just like, how weird, like, if you saw this movie, you'd never mention it, because it was doing, like, little theater runs, like, all over North America. Oh, God.
I've never seen him that excited since last time I told him I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Right?
Yeah.
Now he's deflated.
You talk about me not having a soul, it's for things like that. That's why.
I'm so sorry.
Anyways, Hundreds of Beavers is really good. It was a great watch. I think it originally came out like 2 years ago, but it's only on streaming now or VOD or whatever. So check it out if you want to see like a weird ass live action Looney Tunes, black and white, fur trading, silly movie. It was very good. Rowan, what have you been checking out? Hopefully not Hundreds of Beavers on Pornhub.
Yeah, no, I didn't check that
Only
out.
dozens.
Oh, yeah, just like one or two. No, so actually I have a book that I've started. I don't have much to say about it yet because I literally just started it, but I thought I'd shout it out because I know Mike could be like super excited for it. So it's called Sisters of the Night. It's from, I don't know, like 1998. It's a horror anthology, 14 original stories about female vampires.
Oh my God. That's so hot.
So I picked it up like you, so I'm very excited to get into it. You know, maybe like Colton said, we saw Abigail. Maybe Abigail got me in the vampire mood for something that's good.
I'm literally Googling it right now. This sounds so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next episode when you've made it past the title page, right?
That's right. That's pretty much how it'll probably go.
Hey, at least he's read a book in the last 10 years.
I can read a title page right now.
Yeah, that's
just as far.
actually a good point.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty lame what you've been consuming for me, because I haven't been consuming that much just because work has been hectic, life has been hectic. So TV wise, we're still on our Big Brother watching.
As am I.
Todd or Tad still kicking it. The Newfoundlander still kicking it in Big Brother. Although now I like to go around my house and my cat Maud, I just call her Mad. So now that's just basically her name now. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of that for TV because there's like, I always forget there's like 3 episodes a week or something.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're like an hour long. It's a lot of commitment.
One of them will be like worthwhile watching, and the other 2 are just like complete garbage and misdirection of everyone fighting with one another. But yeah, I just can't look away.
And it's really been a mostly garbage movie watching. I finally finished The Boys in the Boat, which only took me like 4 weeks to finish. Because it was
Is that one movie or a miniseries?
No,
it's one movie.
It's one
he
movie.
watched it like a miniseries.
Basically.
Okay. I was a bit confused.
And it was terrible. It was absolutely dreadful.
Wait, did George Clooney direct
He sure
that?
did. He sure did. And yeah, it's just, if you want to watch for 2+ hours, white people rowing boats, not very excitingly, that's the movie you want to watch. It's just like, it's a sports movie about, I don't know, a rowing team from like the Depression, and I just didn't really care. It plays every single beat of like every single Disney sports trying to win an Academy Award movie, except the performances just aren't really that good. So it's definitely, you know, it just wasn't good. I checked out Role Play, which was like an Amazon original movie, which is basically, I don't even know how to describe it. It's the cast. I'm not familiar with it, but it's the blonde girl from The Big Bang Theory. I can't think.
Oh, like Kaylee Cuoco or something?
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
And it's got David, what's his name? David Oyelowo. The guy played Martin Luther King in Selma.
I don't think that's how you pronounce his name.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So I basically watched it. I had heard people say like it was kind of cute, nothing special, and it was really just middle of the road, like romantic action comedy. You know, it's like a wife that's a secret agent and her husband doesn't know she's a secret agent. So, you know, like hilarity ensues, and, you know, it's just like very tropey. It was just kind of, you watch it when you've got nothing else to watch. I was watching it at work, so I didn't want to watch anything like too heavy. So, because, you know, I'm like pausing it and I got to do stuff. And then one that's just as good as that, but not really. I finally saw the major film called Lift, which was Kevin Hart's new film on Netflix.
Wow.
Which I don't want to even know. I don't want to look it up how much they paid for this movie. I don't want to know, but I'm sure it was more than deserved. This was just like anything that Kevin Hart has put out, in like, I could tell by Colton's face that it's not a good number.
Yeah, $100 million for that one.
Yeah.
And probably 20 of it went to Kevin Hart.
Yeah, like, it's just not good. He's basically the only, like, known actor in it. It's one of these movies you're flexing your muscles, so he's big enough. He's like, hey, pay me to go to exotic locations and film action scenes that are all done on green screen. So it didn't really matter. It was also like a spy type movie. It was about like people that steal art, but they end up working for the government. Like, it was a Kevin Hart movie. It didn't make any sense. It was like a romantic action comedy also.
Even worse, it seems that it's not only about art, but it's about art NFTs.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Oh. Just even worse.
Oh.
There's a lot of like, let's make this current and uninteresting. And yeah, it was just, you know, good for Kevin Hart making his money, but yeah, it wasn't great. And then the last 2 I watched, also Netflix movies. We were spending some time with Zillie's family, so like basically they just had Netflix on the TV, so it was like, oh, what can we watch on there? I watched Damsel, which is you know, this like fantasy action movie that is Millie Bobby Brown's newer vehicle, I guess. And I thought it was all right. It had like some interest, you know, it was just a fantasy, which I've already said I'm not a fantasy guy, especially like dragon shit like that. But it did have like some cool scenes that were like a little horror tinged of like, you know, this dragon cat and mouse game of chasing this girl in like a cavern and stuff. I really like the voice of the dragon. I thought they had like a cool effect on it. I can't even really think. I'm not even going to bother looking it up, but it's some actress. It's Indian actress, and I can't think of her name, but like I thought she did a really good job vocalizing the dragon, and yeah, I kind of wish it was a little more horror based, just because it was a cool premise, but overall, like most of these Netflix things, just not great. It's just like something to put on that I could kind of look at my phone while I was watching it and I wasn't missing anything. And the CGI was like, sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. They don't give a shit, man. They're just like, oh, you guys are going to watch this because you're suckers.
And then we'll pull it off in a year and
you'll
never be able to see it again.
Exactly. And the last thing I watched was the new Netflix true crime documentary, What Jennifer Did, which was kind of interesting because it's Canadian. So it's about a case in Ontario. And this was not very good.
Did you see the news after the fact that they used AI to manipulate images?
Oh, is that the same one?
She had pictures of herself where she looked miserable, and they AI manipulated it to make it look like she was smiling with a peace sign.
Stop it.
To make her look crazier in the documentary, which is just insane.
I kind of respect the move just because it's so insane. If you're going to use AI, it has to be for something insane like that.
In a documentary, that can completely change the narrative, the perception though, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Well, in this, for anybody that has already gone and listened to me and Colton talk about Abigail, and we had a brief conversation just about movie marketing and trailers and things and giving away the twist. This is another one that, I hovered on it on Netflix, the trailer plays, and literally the twist of the documentary is in, the first 30 seconds of the trailer. I mean, the title of it is What Jennifer Did.
Don't tell me that her parents are dead, Rowan, and she did something.
Well, I just like it because, the first, 20 minutes... they're playing it off anyone watching this isn't going to know she did it. And it's well, obviously I know she did it. But yeah, so, I didn't know anything really. I'd never heard about this case, which I guess was a big deal when it happened. So it was interesting just because it was Canadian. And also now that the documentary's come out, even though her and her accomplices all got life without parole, that actually all their cases got overturned this year, and they have to get retrials just because it was found out the judge or something did something wrong with the jury. So I don't think it's really going to change. It's quite obvious, what Jennifer did. So I won't spoil it for anybody. But she kills her parents. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, that's literally all I have watched. Nothing. Oh, actually I lied to you guys. This is what happens when I do it out of order. I'm sorry guys, because I was gonna save something good for last. So the last three things I watched Roadhouse, the original Roadhouse. I've never seen it. How the hell have I never seen this movie?
I've never seen it either.
It's such a you movie.
It is so you. Fucking good. It is what Mike likes to smile at, what Rowan dubs homoeroticy at its finest. When you have a big tough villain look at Patrick Swayze, sweaty, basically shirtless, and just say, I used to fuck dudes like you in prison. It's just it's fantastic. Cocaine is an amazing drug, and it gave us great 80s films. And the last two things I meant to shout out that are quick, I got to see Full Metal Jacket in the theater. That was one of the Stanley Kubrick movies I have never seen in the theater, and I've been slowly picking away. Sadly, I missed out on the Eyes Wide Shut showing that was this weekend, but I was busy. I couldn't make it to it. So
you should never be busy when it's Eyes Wide Shut.
But I'm hoping, you know what? The showing I went to of this was sold out. Apparently, these showings have been sold out. They're smart enough.
Yeah, too bad they don't show them anywhere like here.
Well, so they played it in Halifax in my area, and they're smart enough. They're playing it at the theater that's next to the film school. So, obviously, it's all film students and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping with the popularity, maybe they'll bring it back next year, or at least play.
They're
a
not
couple
going to do
these.
that. They have too many screens to play Shrek 18 on.
Oh my god,
Donkey
Shrek 2 was
18
playing
or
here
whatever.
just the
yes,
other day.
it was.
Like,
It
Holy
played
Not
shit.
here.
Shrek. I meant Kung Fu Panda. Sorry, I was actually trying to think of a bad movie.
Yeah, I was like, what
I
the
said
fuck is up with the
Shrek, yeah.
Shrek?
I was like,
hate,
Mike, don't
dude?
you know Shrek is love, Shrek is life?
Yeah.
Listen, I've seen more Shrek movies in theater than everybody here put together. Okay.
But yeah, it was fantastic to see on the big screen. I'm slowly getting them knocked down. I've seen that. I've seen The Shining, and I've seen A Clockwork Orange all in the theater. So, you know, obviously 2001 and Eyes Wide Shut are like my next big ones I need to see. And then the last thing I'll shout out is I did go to the Terror Vision event of the 40th anniversary of A Nightmare on Elm Street and took my parents to that. We, as a podcast, sponsored the event, so we had some giveaways for everyone. We had a tote bag and a t-shirt, and it went awesome. It was a sold-out crowd, and it was kind of cool at the beginning. He kind of did a hand tally of people that had never seen the movie, and, like, there was a ton of, like, 18, 19-year-olds there that had just never seen it and were there to see it for the first time.
That's wild.
And because it's a bigger movie, like, I found when they did the My Bloody Valentine, basically, like, they brought in the Scream Factory, like, Blu-ray special edition and projected it. This was, like, direct from the distributor, so it had the full theater sound system behind it, and it was, like, it was fantastic. It was awesome. Nice. It was cool taking my mom, because my mom talked about, like, she remembers seeing it opening night at the theater, and, you know, she's a big fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. We kind of disagree. She likes Freddy more than Jason. Obviously, I'm a Jason guy, so that's all right. I always say Freddy's for the elites, so, you know, Jason, just the icon of blue-collar horror. But we won't get into that kind of civil class war right now. So anyway, let's get into this. Troll 1986. I don't even think we need to say who picked this one.
Well, it was no pick. I mean, it's a themed month, you know. It was a unanimous decision. We decided on this one.
Yeah, this hit the randomizer. I can't even say the word.
Yeah, we threw it on the wheel with, I think, like, Frankenstein and Pumpkinhead and
let's just
the Blob.
infuriate the audience right now
And,
with all the things you could have heard.
And instead, you know, the one thing I threw on there mostly as a joke won. So here we are, gonna review Troll.
But yeah, so let's get into Troll 1986. What an appropriate film to end April Ghouls with. We'll get into the trailer, and then we'll be back with the synopsis and first experiences.
The Potters are moving into a new apartment. What they don't know is that their new building is the enchanted gateway to the ancient world of Troll. Harry Potter Jr. expected to have a little trouble getting adjusted in his new neighborhood, but he never expected anything like this. Empire Pictures presents Troll, where myths and legends come to life. Rated PG-13. Now showing. Check newspaper for listings.
Troll was directed by John Carl Buechler and written by Ed Naha, and the story is as follows. When a family moves into a new apartment building, an opportunistic troll takes possession of their youngest child, Wendy, to aid in converting the rest of the building's tenants into new troll recruits and open a gateway to a fourth dimension filled with trolls. But when Harry Potter Jr. notices his sister's increasingly strange behavior, he joins forces with a witch to take back their apartment building and rescue his sister, before they all wind up frolicking naked through the forest like a young Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
So we're going to start with our first experiences. Is this our first time seeing Troll, or are we just huge Daniel Radcliffe fans and always watch anything to do with Harry Potter? Colton, you said you threw this into the randomizer. Is this your first time seeing Troll?
It is my first time seeing Troll. I've never seen this. I've seen Troll 2, no joke, like probably a dozen times or more. It's always been a joke amongst my friends to watch Troll and then watch Troll 2. And we just never want to watch Troll. We always want to watch Troll 2, so we just skip over it and just get straight to the good stuff. So, yeah, this is my first time seeing this, and I'm just so glad to have subjected us all to it on the show. What about you, Jill? Is this a first-time watch for you?
Yeah, also a first-time watch for me. Haven't gotten around to Troll 2, but if it's as good as Troll 1, geez Louise, I gotta make plans for tonight.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, but last night I threw this on. We are recording this on April 21st. So yesterday was 420, so I was balls deep in a gummy watching this shit. And I look at my phone, look at the podcast group chat, and Rowan's like, I didn't know this had so many musical numbers in it. And I was like at the exact same part. Like, I was like, is this really happening?
I hadn't watched it yet. I was making a joke.
Oh! Yeah,
no, but there actually is. I know, I was shocked.
There is! And I was like, holy shit. This is wild. But yeah, first time for me. What about you, Mike?
This was also my first time somehow.
This is exciting.
Somehow this, escaped me. Listen, Troll 2, obviously better. A better movie. It's
way better. Yeah.
Oh, I'm ready to go to war, guys. You just wait. I don't think so.
Oh, excuse you.
Oh, we'll fight. We'll fight then.
Don't worry, there's fighting happening. Yeah, I've never seen this before, and oh my god, I don't know what to say about it other than I wish I had. No, I'm kidding. Spoiler alert. No, don't go on my Letterboxd. Bro, tell me you've seen this. I know you have the 4K of this. Or is it like a 0.2K?
I mean, obviously, whether it's good or bad, I'd want the 4K of everything, but
it's the 480p version.
Obviously, I was watching the Tubi version, but yeah, this is exciting. This is also my first time seeing this. I don't know if this ever really happens.
It's pretty rare, yeah.
That it's all our first time. I remember the cover of this, obviously, like in the dingy, not Blockbuster video stores. Like, I've seen this poster. It's really weird. I've never seen this. As a Leprechaun kid, you think this would be like just kind of a go-to. I remember the horror version of Rumpelstiltskin, and this seems like it would be right up my lane. Also, as a puppet master kid, in Charles Band, I would think this would be in my wheelhouse somewhere, but unfortunately I had never seen it. So yes, first time watching it. So with that, let's open up the magical worlds and get into talking about all the, I don't know, do trolls have dust? I don't know. If it is, it's probably just nut dust. Let's be realistic here, because he's a little...
It's not nut dust, it's butt dust. It's butt dust. It's butt bust.
We've lost this strain so badly. It's gone.
It's already gone.
Yeah, so let's get into it, fellas.
Whoa!
How dare you? That was not gender inclusive.
We don't want you to lead the discussion, Jill. Men first, please.
Okay, yeah, like it's meant to be.
No, you have to walk in purse first.
Purse first.
Well, I'm glad we have so much to say about this movie. Let's just... I do have a talking point. I have at least one. I think the chaos of that fire alarm scene in the beginning, I thought that was going to be the whole movie. It felt like an Adult Swim short that I was watching.
It was very much so. And okay, so I was joking around and saying that I have one note for this movie.
I have so many notes.
To voice my displeasure.
Yeah.
But I actually have two. It's Julia Louis-Dreyfus being in it, and how fucking long is this goddamn fire alarm scene gonna go on? They're screaming the dialogue over a fire alarm. I'm like, how many takes of this did they have to do where they're just like, bah!
Dude, we're overstimmed watching it.
They did one take of this, and they just let everyone stumble out of their apartments and walk down the stairs and have the dialogue where it's like, why, hello, what is your name? And it's like, I am John. I live in the apartment above you. Oh, we just moved in. Just like with every single person passing through the apartment. I just couldn't believe how many people just kept stumbling out of the nearby units and like coming down and introducing themselves. It literally felt like a Too Many Cooks situation where I was just like,
it really was.
There's been like 5 people now stumbling through introducing themselves, and the fire alarm is still going off and everyone's just screaming. It was like pure chaos. I got so much kick out of just that stupid little scene in the beginning.
My favorite part of that is the guy that comes out and he's like taking a shit on the family for having kids. And he's like, I'm into swinging. So when I have people over, I want your kids to like shut up or whatever. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I actually, he was my favorite character in the whole movie.
Oh,
I just like how you said that person as if it's not
Mr. Dickinson. Go ahead.
I was gonna say how it's not Sonny Bono. That's who it is.
Oh yeah, fuck.
I don't know who that is. Am I supposed to know who that is?
What?
Sonny and Cher.
Sonny and Cher.
Oh God, guys.
Oh my God, you're uncultured.
You are so young.
Uncultured.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Sonny is like a 60, 70 like icon. Sonny and Cher, they were like a musical group. They were a couple too, weren't they?
So I know Cher.
Yeah.
Is that the spin-off of Sonny and Cher?
Oh my God.
They were married.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have
All
at
right.
least one child together.
Yeah,
And they had a show
child.
that was like literally the pop culture show for like an entire decade.
This shows how straight you are, Colton.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just
It really
I don't
does.
think I've ever listened to Sonny and Cher. I've heard Cher before because my wonderful grandmother on my dad's side used to listen to Cher all the time.
You know what? Your grandmother has taste.
Yeah.
Mm.
Where did it go?
I will say up front, my first note was I thought the whole cast was just kind of a banger. Like I was like, there's some people in this.
Listen, I won't give you much about this movie, but it was weird. The cast of this was absolutely inexplicable. Like that director must have had shit on every fucking one of these people, even though it was before a lot of them were famous. Yeah.
And the little girl actress, because she was fucking awesome.
Jenny Beck. She killed it.
Yeah,
Am I
there
supposed
you
to
go.
know her? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Is she a
I
famous
look,
tap
she's
dancer
pretty
or
much
something?
only in this. This is like her movie.
Oh, okay.
Dude, she embodied the troll for real. I was, I believed it.
But like we had like Phil Fondacaro who did play the troll, but also plays Malcolm Mallory, who I don't know if Mike, when you saw it, the first thing I think of is Bordello of Blood. He's like,
I love Bordello
the
of
whole
Blood,
intro
yeah.
of Bordello of Blood is him. And he's in like 8 million other great movies. But like Michael Moriarty, who I don't know if I ever talked about it, but like
Moriarty,
who's like in a bunch of seasons of Law and Order. I used to be
I recognized him. Yeah,
he's a bit of a cult legend, I guess.
And then like Mike said, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and not just her, but Brad Hall, who was her husband, who was also on Saturday Night Live. I was just like, whoa, like, how did they get all these people in this film? And why is this whole fire scene amazing? I want all of my introduction, the characters, and every movie to be like this. But that's probably, like you said, I did feel like it was an Adult Swim sketch, and I loved it. I was like, I'm in for it.
I just couldn't believe how long it was going on for. I was just like, what is this movie? Also because that's like something they would do in Troll 2. Where it's just like, that's what they felt like would be the natural way to introduce everybody, right? And it would just be like, what is going on? This movie doesn't have like quite the same like manic energy as Troll 2. I mean, it still feels off a lot of the time when you're watching it, but it's not quite at the same level. But that was like a scene that I felt like, oh, I can understand how Troll 2 could be a sequel to this, weirdly enough, off that one little scene there.
It gave me heavy, I had to go all the way back to the first year of the It Slays podcast. It was giving me heavy Witchboard 2 vibes when I was watching it, which is good, Mike. I'm saying this as a good thing for me.
Mike's offended by it.
Yeah, I'm offended by it, but that's fine.
Like, ridiculous character acting, which is fantastic. Like, I love the oddity of this. I'm gonna be straight up, like, up front. I like this better than I like the second Troll movie. Like, I thought this was better.
You have to stop, Rowan. You have to stop.
I can't be stopped. I'm a madman.
So this movie is technically like a better movie, of course. But Troll 2 is like infinitely more entertaining, like so much better. like Grandpa Seth, which has nothing to do with this movie, he doesn't just appear in the third act from hell and give the main character a Molotov to create a little like diversion. You know, that's the sort of energy you're missing in this movie. Like Troll 2 is like insanity. This was like people were trying, which was kind of funny in a way, because it was like a lot of the writing was still terrible, and you know, a lot of the acting was still pretty bad, and you'll just have like a weird musical number as like you know, what's his face, Malcolm's giving all this like troll lore, and they're like singing and dancing and stuff, and it's super bizarre.
That's so awesome.
But it's a different movie. You could tell they were trying to make a movie with this one. Like they had like $1 million budget. They made like $5 million on this. They made all their money back. Like they were making something. And then Troll 2 comes out and it's like, oh, that's not it.
You're either a Charles Band and Full Moon Entertainment kind of guy, or you're not. And I think it's just I'm on that plane. I'm the kind of guy.
Stream screams.
Yeah, I'm the guy that's with Jill watching Ginger Dead Man, watching Evil Bong 666. And I'm like, yeah, this makes sense that this is also the guy that made this Troll movie. And like I said, as a kid that grew up on all the Puppet Master movies, because when I turned it on, I was thinking like horrible, terrible thoughts of what I would like to happen to Colton. And then as soon as I saw...
Ouch.
As soon as I saw that it was, because Full Moon didn't exist then, it was, it would have been Empire Pictures at the time, which then turns into Full Moon Entertainment. But once I saw it was Charles Band, I was like, Colton, you know me. My heart softened to you. I was like, I felt like I was in good hands with Charles Band, because this is everything I want out of a Charles Band movie. It's silly. It's ridiculous. You know, I feel like I'm just jumping into it now, but like, I thought like all the special effects of the trolls and like, especially the musical number when we get all these like, let's be honest, there's one troll. The rest are like fairies and goblins.
Yeah, troll adjacent.
Yeah. But like when they're all singing and it's like this musical number in the middle of this, I was like, this is fucking fantastic. Like who, who could hate this? It's just like, it's wearing its heart on its sleeve.
It is 80s-tastic is what it is.
Yeah, like I was having such a time with this. If I had saw this when I was a kid, like this would be way up there for like I know I would love this movie.
That nostalgia.
My whole life.
Were they puppets?
No, they were real.
You know what I mean? The little fairy people in the apartment.
The trolls got him.
Troll in the dungeon.
Rowan, where are you?
When it finally comes back, he's going to be a tree stump. And
yeah.
Oh, no.
We never heard you at all, Rowan. You just froze.
I stopped talking, but you guys froze for me, and I could still hear you.
Oh, okay.
So we could hear all of us, and then you were just frozen.
But not you, yeah.
Yeah, you were going to explain, like, the little guys.
Basically, from what I read, like, some of them were actually reused, which is very Charles Band. Like, apparently one of the monsters is it called the Dungeon Master? He has the poster in his bedroom, which was also a great little Full Moon thing, where he's got a bunch of Empire Pictures movies in his bedroom. Super meta. I love
think
it.
they're actually ones that the director did like special effects on and stuff too.
But one of these goblins, I think it was called like the Spit Goblin or something.
That was my nickname in high school.
It's I read that in the background. one of the ghoulies from the Ghoulies movie is also in this.
Yeah.
So like I just love bringing creating the shared troll universe that's so much bigger than we ever thought.
Stay there for a second, Rowan. Stay there. So would you say, or how would you say, a troll is a ghoul?
Oh, we're just getting into that right now.
If we don't get into it, we're just going to do another whole episode, and then we'll be on our next theme month discussing ghouls.
We're fucking there, so let's go.
I'm going to argue that a troll isn't a ghoul. I'm just going to be upfront about it. I don't think this pick fits in a ghoul category, but I had such a time that I didn't really fucking care, to be honest. So
yeah.
So when I proposed April Ghouls, it didn't have to be a literal ghoul. It was like a ghoulish vibe. Like in my head, like a ghost would be like kind of ghoulish, you know? Like if we did like a poltergeist or something, or a Casper or something, or like I don't know, even like Critters or something, like something silly. It's kind of ghoulish. So these little trolls running around and these little guys.
There is a ghoul in the background. Like I said, they have a ghoul from Ghoulies in it. So I guess that counts.
Okay.
Like, it's not like the literal definition.
That he didn't pick Ghoulies.
Yeah, why didn't we do Ghoulies? It wasn't even on the fucking wheel.
I think that came up at some point, but to me, it's just funnier to do Troll. Because we did Troll 2, and Rowan and Mike both, like, just didn't understand the movie at all. And then now it's time to do Troll 1, and then we can do Troll 3 at some point, you know?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hard pass. There's a 3?
There was 2 Troll 3s.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's like one of those things where internationally some other random movie got changed to that title.
Yep. They're both
probably
Italian.
in Italy. It's always an Italian. Yeah, I was going to say it's always a fucking Italian movie every time.
Always.
Dawn of the Dead being called Zombie 2 in Italy, and it's like, okay.
God.
Yeah, well, and that's like, you know, there's like that Ghost House movie, and that's like Evil Dead 4, even though it has like nothing to do with anything Evil Dead's about. Yeah, I'm the only one that commented. Like, what did you guys think of like the actual, like, you know, Toro? Is it Torok the troll, or but like Torok?
Not the dinosaur hunter, but the troll. Torok.
But like, what did you think of like the actual puppetry, like the look, the feel of like the goblins, the fairies?
Well, yeah, I mean, Torok wasn't a puppet though, right? Like he was just the actor in his costume. But I thought it was pretty good. But it looked a lot like the goblins in Troll 2, which was funny. That was like the only touchstone between the two movies. Is like Torok kind of looked like the goblins in Troll 2. That I was like, oh, this is interesting. But I mean, I thought all the creature effects were good.
It was giving me more Ernest Scared Stupid vibes than anything. I thought they kind of looked like which I think may also be trolls in Ernest Scared Stupid. Oh my God, is that part of the universe also?
When you go to the ending of Troll 2 and there's the one troll in the middle and he's eating the mom and he looks up at the end and he goes, "Yummy, mommy." That troll looks like Torok.
Fucking sign me up right now.
You gotta watch Troll 2, Jill. You should have did both of them yesterday. You would have loved Troll 2.
Was this episode only put out so you can just tell people to watch Troll 2? Is that
absolutely?
Is that what this was all about?
No, I'll take it. You know,
I mean, I have other great talking points. Like, did Carnation bet on the wrong film? Because it seemed like Carnation was pretty popular in this movie, and you know, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of Carnation nowadays other than Carnation milk. Like evaporated milk. But they open up the fridge.
Condensed milk, yeah.
Yeah, they open up the fridge and it's literally full of Carnation products. And I was just like, whoa, this is like an alternate universe compared to what
that's my parents' fridge. That's all they put in their like coffee and tea.
But yeah, but they had like actual milk. Carnation and like actual like baked goods and butters and stuff, all Carnation. And I've just never seen that. So I think what happened is Carnation, you know, they paid a lot for the marketing of this big movie, Troll. They were probably like betting on like the popularity of like E.T. and like, some other little creatures like that, Gremlins.
Do you think they like spend all their money on this and then they just flop and they're
that's
like,
why the only thing they manufacture now is condensed milk.
That's the only thing they can afford. They can't afford anything that's like more than like 30 cents on the shelf. Yep. That's what happened.
That's more than 30 cents in this economy. God damn.
Well,
it's like $1.
Well, okay, I'm the only one who noticed the Carnation.
No, I noticed it.
I literally didn't.
Okay, it was shocking to me. It's like a full fridge of Carnation products.
I was going to say, also, I mean, we got to shout out that we got Noah Hathaway as the lead, The Never-Ending Story, a very important film in my childhood, who's also the lead of that. You've never seen neither is Exilia. I was yelling at her today about that.
What? That is such an Exilia.
I know it's like Falcor fell in the mud or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, just bawl your eyes out type of film. But I thought it was interesting. I did do some reading on this. I thought it was interesting that, you know, the original like story treatment, they wanted this to be like R-rated and it was supposed to be like a slasher. So I thought it was just kind of interesting that Charles Band was like, no, this is going to be PG-13. There's going to be a musical number in it. That musical number is going to bang. It's going to be fucking awesome.
It's going to pop the fuck off.
That's right. And that's how it's going to go. Which I just thought was an interesting twist, because when I was watching this, I kept thinking, you know, not only did it may not have fit into a ghoul category, but I was like, is this actually a horror movie? It's horror tinged. But would you consider it more fantasy than horror?
Definitely.
Because I'm kind of like, are people really dying? They're just kind of turning into like goblins and fairies and things like that.
That's horrific to me.
PG horror, like,
PG
you know,
horror?
shit kids would watch. And then when you graduate, you watch Leprechaun.
So in order to fit this in, do we just rename it backdate April into like PG horror and not April Ghouls? Because we're like, oh, it's just basically two PG horror movies.
Then we can do Hocus Pocus and you guys can hate me.
We already did Hocus Pocus, and we all agreed it sucked. So,
oh my god,
it still fits because Beetlejuice was a ghoulish movie. You know, he's like literally a ghoul, like, you know, associated with the graveyard. I don't know if he eats human flesh or not, but you know, and like I said, this got a ghoulish vibe, silly, ghouly vibe.
You're right about that. I want to know if these people are going to take J.K. Rowling to fucking court and sue. Yeah?
There was never like any litigation or anything, but in 2008, they were trying to reboot Troll before like Troll 2 got popular as like one of the best, worst movies ever or anything like that. And apparently the reboot got canned due to like Harry Potter naming concerns. Like they didn't believe they could like come out with a movie with someone named Harry Potter in it and not be Harry Potter despite existing before Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I think the creative people involved in this movie believe that J.K. Rowling stole the name from Troll.
I agree.
You think so?
Yeah. I do. 100%. She stole everything.
Troll.
I mean, Harry Potter, there's like magic and some may say wizardry in it.
There's a witch, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I did read that someone did press her about it, like in an interview. And, you know, she was like, that's ridiculous. She said she had never heard of the movie.
She steals everything.
And then basically just said, like, Harry's my favorite name. Potter is the last name of my best friend. It was a pure coincidence. But I don't believe it. I mean, as influential as this movie probably is, I would think that she would have got it from this.
I had a note of what's more troubling, this movie's ableism or J.K. Rowling's transphobic comments.
Oh.
Definitely J.K. Rowling.
I know. But when I was watching this movie, I was like, the ableism in this movie towards this one little person is insane.
Oh my God. It was so
it's
uncomfortable.
So bad. Like the entire movie, like every single time it's like, oh, she's bringing over her little friend. And then he like walks on in like as the butt of the joke, almost like comedic timing.
The fucking like milk, the glass of milk the mom has for him. And then she realized he's not a kid.
Yeah, he's an adult. He's like, I'll take a gin and tonic. Yeah.
The pause is way too long there.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, this is bad. We need to not do this right now. I feel bad.
I will say that like him saving Wendy from the car is like such a like little baffling scene. Like it felt like I was in like a, you know, a weird dream or a fugue state or something when I was watching it, because all of a sudden like Wendy's in the street and a car is just speeding towards her, and then like the little person pops out and rescues her, and I was just like, what am I watching here? Like, this is insane. And then instantly she's like, are you an elf? And starts like questioning him about his elf and starts calling him Brother Elf. And I was just
Brother
like,
Elf.
I was like, bro, this movie's insane.
I just like that you started that whole story and said little scene. You just can't get it out of your head.
Who's ableist now, motherfucker?
Wow. You caught me. God.
Did you think it was weird that this little girl had so many adult friends?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just about to say, she needs to stop going into fucking grown adults' apartments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was a fucking nightmare. I was like, get out of this apartment. Like,
goes into like this trophy hunter spot, hops right up on his desk right away, swinging her legs. I was just like, what is this girl doing here? I was like, oh no, what did I pick?
Big yikers.
I mean, I was more concerned, you know, you're talking about the mom and the chocolate milk and stuff and realize he's not a kid. If I'm her parents, I'm more concerned of like, why is this grown adult man like coming to dinner with this like little girl, this kid. Like, you know, you're like, oh yeah, sure, we're friends. Like, yeah, let's have dinner together. That sounds great.
Hope it's chicky nuggies and chocolate milk.
Also, just like that scene where we go up to his apartment and he's like, yo, I'm dying of cancer, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, wait, man, my troll movie just took a dark turn for a moment.
No, go ahead.
No, you're fired up. I want you to go.
Because I thought they were comparing his dwarfism to being his condition. I missed the cancer part, and I was like...
he said that he was, like, struggling to breathe and stuff. I thought, like, maybe he had, like... Oh, my God, if they're literally just talking about, like, his dwarfism is the same as, like,
where's
a terminal
the cancer?
Illness.
Yeah, where's
I
the
thought it was, like,
cancer
or something, yeah. Oof.
I thought so,
really
too,
bad.
Colton. I thought so, too. Maybe because I sort of, like, was blanking out.
Yeah, that'd be insane if that's not what they were saying, Jill.
I assumed it was also cancer. No, what I was going to say was when the troll turns him into whatever the hell he is, a goblin or whatever, that looked so sweet because it still like looked like him. Yeah. And I was like, it was really one of the only times like they actually look like the actor. And I was just like, this is awesome. I was like...
Rowan was crying. He was like, oh, it's so beautiful. We got that scene where he says his body's breaking down. He would love to have a new body. And now he got it. They made the little person into a little fucking gremlin thing.
Is he really a villain? I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems like they're all really enjoying themselves living in this, like, nice green wooded area. They're just, like, fucking singing songs together and enjoying life.
Oh, man. The mold that's about to grow in that apartment.
Well, Torok is like an anti-hero. He's like similar to like Jill's villain scissoring book, you know? Like he winds up saving the day at the end, you know? Throwing that magic spear into that weird bat troll's chest or whatever, you know?
I will say one of the things I would have liked, I can't believe I'm going to have like an actual criticism for this movie, but it's because I thought it was a banger. I would have liked the lore a little sooner in the movie because like everything happens and they give you the lore basically like when everything's done happening and then you're like, oh, that's why this is going on.
But if they did it beforehand, you wouldn't have them all dancing as the lore is happening, you know?
Oh, fuck, that's true, man. Then we need another musical scene.
Two musical
Rowan. Scenes.
No.
Musical scenes. I thought you hated musicals.
Listen, if it's like this, I love it. I love it.
The reason why it was so powerful is because you did not fucking expect it to happen. It came out of nowhere, and you're like, is this happening? Like, they're doing this? They're going there.
I couldn't believe it either. I was shocked. Like, when you guys were texting back and forth, I thought Rowan was just making a joke about, like, the Trolls movie, right? Like, where they sing and Colton, like, Justin Timberlake, you know, because Trolls movies. And then I was like, oh, no, there's a bit of dancing here. Like, the dad's, like, dancing the Summertime Blues or something earlier in the movie.
Oh, my God. That was so embarrassing.
That was very tough to watch.
He didn't get paid enough.
And then I was shocked when I saw, like, that whole, like, choral chanting scene of all the trolls kind of singing and grunting with one another. It was it was beautiful. Brought a tear to my eye.
I also love the little mushroom
oh my God
thing.
What's his name, Galwin,
which used to be someone who was like helping her, right? And then she changed
he was
into
a wizard.
A mushroom.
Yeah, it was the guy in the painting, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he's a wizard, Harry.
I don't know if it was the guy in the painting or not. I think that might have been Torok. I thought like her and Torok were lovers at some point. Yeah,
Galwin was like her. He was like teaching
mentor.
her.
Yeah.
And then some shit transpired.
It's very complex lore, Rowan, so I can understand why you couldn't keep up.
But I love that fucking mushroom.
Yeah, I know. I'd love a little like plushie of it or something.
Oh my God.
Release the Troll and Troll 2 plushies.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
I got a question for you guys now.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what day they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima?
Let me go get where's the encyclopedia?
No, but it would be interesting to find out. I was like, what is this? What is this slide? It's insane.
And then she just does it. She's like, okay, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, she just goes like, nope. Well, it'll be interesting to find out.
Just because when they asked on TV, it was like, oh, let's find out. And then she asked ChatGPT, and it told us on Monday. So Monday was the day.
Yeah, but wasn't it the date?
I don't know, man. Why are we talking about the
6th and on the 9th of August?
Why are we talking about the semantics of atomic bombs when we should be talking about the bomb?
Why was she talking about it?
Okay, first of all, on Etsy, you can get a made-to-order Gawain plushie for $20. And it looks pretty fucking
But
sweet.
does it move and talk to you?
Well, no, but...
I also like how blurry on your phone when you try to show it in your webcam. It just looked like a stuffed dick with sunglasses on.
I mean, that's technically what it fucking is.
Pretty close, I mean.
I'm kind of sad, though. You know, you were talking about, Colton, that they want to reboot this. I saw they had also talked about maybe doing a cartoon. And there was supposed to be like a cartoon feature. And I thought like...
That would have been fun.
That actually would have been pretty cool for like... Just, you know, obviously we talked about Troll 2 just being, like, wild. I think this is pretty fucking wild. And, like, yeah, just make it, like, do another one in a cartoon. So it's just totally, you know, also wild and out there. Something you wouldn't expect. But I was like, yeah, this would make, like, an awesome cartoon.
I just don't think you can make something like this intentionally. That's the thing with this and Troll 2. It's, like, Troll 2 way more. Like, it's just, like, this... series of scenes that barely connect that is just like a disaster to watch. This is like an actual movie, but it's still like baffling in a lot of ways. That is just like, I don't think like when people would like earnestly try to make like, let's say a Troll 2 Part 2, which they've tried, or like let's say a Troll animated series, like I think they would be kind of like leaning into the joke too much, where like these movies were made like earnestly, right? Where people thought they were like making art and like making like great movies, right? Like they weren't trying to make something bad, which is just like, you know, it's adds to the charm of it all. That I don't know, like doing that now in like 2024, it'd be very tough, I think, to capture that like earnestness, right? I feel like it would just always be like winking at the camera, which
it's too
is not
self-conscious.
what I want. Yeah.
What do you guys think of, you know, the unpaid actor in this movie? You know, apart from the mushroom, apart from the little fairy trolls, the fan doing all the work in the corridor when they're walking around and their hair is just like being blown by the fan. Did you guys catch that?
I did see that.
It's like once you see it, you cannot not see it.
Their hair was looking fab in any of those hallways. So, you know,
I have a
shout
couple
out to that
questions,
fan.
I guess. Is peace porridge the same as peace pudding?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know.
Wait, isn't it like Peace Man?
Peace porridge hot, peace porridge cold, peace porridge in the pot 9 days old. You know?
Some like it hot, some like it cold.
That wonderful little thing. And then I just wanted to dedicate some time for Jill to talk about the theme of the movie.
Well, obviously it's about, you know, reading books and how books are owned and operated by the liberal media.
Oh, okay.
You know, that guy, he's like, books, I never read them. I'm not commie scum or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all I got.
Well, in Troll 2, there's a very clear theme of vegetarians are terrible people and they deserve to be eaten. So
Jesus. Okay.
I was looking for something in here, and I just, you know, it wasn't as deep as Troll 2, so it was lacking a little bit in that department for me.
So this was definitely all part of Colton's anti-book plan, was to...
Yeah, I was seeding it in the what you've been consuming portion, you know, the hatred towards books, and now I'm just fully book burning by this point, you know, in the show. Just get rid of them all. We got nothing else. I don't know. I got one more note. I said Troll says ACAB. That's how the movie ends.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you know, a little hand comes in, you know, lures the cop into the troll realm. I got another note of trolls looking at Playboy. You know, that was an interesting little beat.
He did like that.
Yeah, he was enjoying some Playboy.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a weird ass movie. There's not much to discuss here anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't care about the juice. It's a good line where the kid just goes, I don't care about the juice.
The kid just weirdly like covering for this troll sister going on. Like so many times he should have just been like, there's something going on with my sister. It's a troll. You know, he's reading like comic books and magazines at night. I don't know. I thought he looked like a good hang. I don't know why the kid like overly cared. He didn't even try to turn the brother into a goblin. So it's like, whatever, man. Like, you're turning all these weirdos. He should have just
did something to like get his parents' attention, like standing up on the chair of the table and peeing all over it as they were eating breakfast or something, you know?
Make sure to go listen to our Troll 2 episode for that reference.
All these weird ass references to this other movie. Yeah. I was gonna say we didn't really talk about Julia Louis-Dreyfus very much. Mm-hmm. She's like running around. There's like 4 or 5 different half-naked versions of her running around through the woods. You know, that was an interesting scene. You know, it woke me up. Thought it was a good one.
I read apparently like there was an actual nude shot of her like leaked in a promo for in a magazine that she was not too happy about that it came out.
I wouldn't say. There's also that sequence ends and she's like sat next to the big troll next to Torok, and like the look on her face, she has like major like fuck me eyes next to this troll. I don't know.
Not fuck me eyes.
It was a crazy shot. Just to be in this movie.
Turok just gets them wet, you know? Turok knows how to...
Oh, God. That's why, the end of the episode.
That's why they're all slimy. And I was going to say, yet again, another actress is just ashamed for their film debut and it being a bad horror movie. So, yeah. I don't know. Should we just land the plane on this one?
I can just keep grasping at straws, but it's just stupid things. All these weird, hairy little men popping out of the bushes. It's like, I don't know. There's nothing to say about that. That's like this movie. Every time we cut back to an apartment, there's just some weird, green, hairy man sticking his head out of, like, some moss or something. It's just, I don't know. It's like a fever dream.
Well, let's land the plane on this one. If you're new to the program, our rating system is nay, okay, yay, or slay. Colton, this is your pick. Why don't you start us off?
I didn't mention how Eunice gets hot at the end. That's an important
point
as well. You know, where the witch is like old and witchy, and I was like, damn, she's kind of hot now. And I was watching it, and I was just like,
it's so ageist.
I was like, they did some really good like old age makeup on her, and I was watching it, and it's like, oh, it's actually 2 separate actresses, and they're like related.
They're mother-daughter. They're actually mother-daughter.
But anyways, I noticed, I was like, damn, Eunice is kind of hot now. What am I going to say about Troll 1? It is way... Oh, God. It's technically a better movie than Troll 2, but it is way worse than Troll 2 in my mind. I think it's just like... by trying to be an actual movie, it's a lot more boring. It does have some good practical effects in terms of just like some creatures and stuff like that. The musical scene, I just didn't know what I was watching. The writing is still completely awful. Everyone speaks in like full sentences, like always introducing each other to one another, which is just like not how life works. I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it a nay. It's not a very good movie. I probably wouldn't watch this one again. Troll 2, I could like go throw on right this instant and like die laughing at it. This one just doesn't have like the manic, crazy energy of Troll 2 that it's just like literally all the time. What am I watching? It has its moments. It feels kind of like it would exist in the same universe. There's like this weird energy to the movie that's still, you know, in Troll 2, but I greatly prefer Troll 2. So this is a nay. It had some redeeming qualities, but I still didn't enjoy it very much. Jill, what about you?
All right. You know, I wasn't too excited about watching this. I did think it was a bit poopy at times, but also, when I just relaxed and, you know, the gummy hit and I was watching the fairies singing their opera rock, I don't know, it was doing it for me, especially near the end where you have Eunice, who's like a princess witch, like guarding this apartment and waiting for a troll to come back, and you have like a pet wizard mushroom thing going on. I love that fucking mushroom, and I love her, and the little girl was spooky, and you know, lots of little quirky points. You know, maybe I'd watch it again for funsies. So I'm gonna give it an okay. And I need to pick me up, so I'm gonna go to Rowan. I need to hear you slay this down.
Yeah, so this one, like I said, I went into it, I hated everything that had to do with Colton and his birth. And I watched it, and I was very pleasantly surprised that not only, you know, it's quick, it's, you know, 82 minutes, you're kind of in, you're out. I thought it was fun. I looked at it way more of like I said, almost less of a horror, more like a labyrinth or something like that style. Obviously, it could have been, maybe I wanted it to be a little more musical, you know, if it was having these as you said, Jill, rock, fairy, opera bangers going on. I'm gonna give it a yay. I really liked it.
Oh my God.
I like really liked it. I'm already like, I need to pick this up on physical media.
You need to watch Troll 2 again in the right frame of mind, Rowan. Not thinking it's like a great horror movie. Just watch it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll equally like it. I think this one's good, and like I said at the beginning, I'm kind of really sad I didn't see it when I was younger, because I feel like if I had saw this as a kid, this would be like rotation, nostalgia, everything. But yeah, let's pass it on to Mike so he can give it that slay.
Slay, 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 slay the house down boots.
Houston.
So I'm gonna give this an A. And to throw back to our early days, I'm giving it an A minus. It's got some quirkiness to it for sure, but it makes Troll 2 look like, a Bergman movie. So it's like the Seventh Seal. Troll 2 is like.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that's I
think that's on the DVD cover of Troll 2.
Oh, 100% it's the blurb, and if it isn't,
the Seventh Seal of Troll movies.
Yeah, whoever owns the rights, you have my permission to use my words. And also it made me lose like 4 rounds of Overwatch, so I'm really pissed.
Oh my God.
So yeah, A minus.
Jeez.
We told you what we thought about it, and we asked you what you thought, and we had a couple answers. Actually, I think we really only had one answer, and that was Todd Rode on Twitter said absolutely bonkers. So 9 out of 10. Love it. Yeah, Todd. I said Todd. Toad Road is the Twitter name. Big brother on the brain.
Non-ironically slaying it, basically, with a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, so I feel like me and Toad Road on the same level of things.
Toad, if you hear this, write us and tell us your rating of Troll 2.
Yeah, we need to know
whether or not I should block you.
And then on Instagram, we had Willow write in and said,
I think she gave it a 5 stars on Letterboxd.
I think it says in her thing 10 out of 10, better than any black and white film ever made. No, her response was torturing poor Mike by making him watch this film. Shake my head. And then the rest of the questions were all just Colton definitely trolling. I believe he said, "Who the fuck picked this goofy ass movie? Looks like a certified banner." Which unfortunately, Colton, your rating says differently. So
true. Yeah.
And then we can't open up our trolls, ghouls, or nah again. So. We don't.
I wrote that in as a question just in case we made it to the end of the show and haven't discussed it yet.
So I believe we have Nicholas, as always, called in to the horrific hotline. So let's get to that.
Right. I just watched Troll from, 1986 or something? And like the first 15 minutes, that's a fucking banger.
Yes!
It's so hilarious. This little girl controlled by the troll running around shouting burgers. Great, that's peak comedy. I loved the first 15 minutes of the movie, and I'm not kidding, I really enjoyed them. It was so bad, I couldn't help myself but laugh out loud, sitting here in my room watching it alone on my laptop. Yeah, but after that, the movie kind of falls down a lot for me. There is a cool musical number with all the troll forest creatures, which is so weird, and there is a mushroom head thingy.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, the movie never reaches this comedic, it's so bad, it's good again high of the first 15 minutes. And I thought it was kind of repetitive afterwards. The troll going to another room and making another forest room. and the final battle was weird, and then the troll saves the girl. Why? I don't know. Maybe I fell asleep for 5 minutes. I'm not sure. Still, the movie deserves the okay I'm going to give it for the first 15 minutes, which is an absolute slay, and then a big strong nay afterwards.
Okay.
Coming to an okay, something I wish I would have watched with a lot of other people, maybe a couple of beers and some snacks. That would be the better way to watch the movie. Still really happy that you already did Troll 2, so I don't have to watch Troll 2 ever again. Have a good one.
Nicholas, what are your thoughts on Troll 2? I have to know, especially since you gave this one an okay.
Yeah, I'm more interested. Nicholas, I've got an actual question for you for next time you call in. I want to know, what snacks are you eating when you're watching Troll? Is it carnation milk?
Just evaporated milk, just right out of the can?
Can of mushrooms.
Yeah, there we go. And if you want to be like Nicholas and, send us a voicemail, a review, some questions, you can do so at itslayspodcast@gmail.com or by messaging us on any of our socials at itslayspodcast. Basically, you get something to us as an MP3. We'll make sure that it makes the air. And if you're not doing so already, you can follow us at itslayspodcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Slasher, Letterboxd, Threads, Bluesky. If there's a social media, we're probably there at It Slays Podcast. And if you want to support the show, like our horror hounds, Holly, Nicholas, Patrick, Mark, Stephen, Joy, Carvey, Dan, Brian, Trevor, and Genesis, gain access to the Patreon exclusive show Stream Screams, hosted by Jill, and get episodes of this here main show 48 hours early. Be sure to head on over to patreon.com/itslayspodcast and choose whatever tier works best for you. Now, Rowan, I've already checked, and the singing troll song known as Cantos Profane is on Spotify. So is it making the playlist?
Oh, it's making the playlist.
It's
going to the very top.
Banger.
We're sending that banger to number 1 on the Spotify charts. I mean, it's just amazing. So go to the It Slays Podcast horrific playlist on Spotify. If you have any problems finding it, you can go to any of the social media that Colton just mentioned, click the Linktree link in the bio. It'll take you directly there. We upload scores or licensed music from iconic horror movies like Troll, horror movies we review, or just horror movies we love like Troll. So yeah, follow the playlist and get your spooky music on, because why the hell not? And last but not least, we have to announce the new episode coming, which we have no idea. We haven't even figured it out yet, guys. But that's okay, because we're going to kind of do what we did in January with Wanuary. We'll give you a poster letting you know everything that's coming. But it's a theme. Mike is smiling right now into the camera. He's very
so
happy. It's another themed month. He's been saying in our group chats over and over again, I can't believe we did theme months. This is a great idea, and I'm glad. I'm just the biggest supporter of this.
He's also been saying that we don't cover enough A24 horror releases on the show. So it's just weird how this month works out for him.
He's so happy.
We are going with May 24. So yeah, get ready. We'll have a poster out. We'll let you know some of the now slayings coming, some of the main episodes coming, and we will be back all month with that A24 or May 24 horror goodness. So as always, thank you for all the support. I'm your humble host, Rowan.
Bye, it's Mike.
I'm Colton.
And bye, it's Jill.
A gentle knight was riding across the plain, all clad in mighty arms and silver shield, wherein old dints and deep wounds did remain, the cruel marks of many a bloody field. Yet armies till that time did he never wield. His angry steed did chide his foaming bit.